Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to see about the overview of GST. Okay. First and foremost thing, if we are going to the GST, first we have to know about what is tax. Okay. So the tax is said to be what? It is a mandatory fee or a financial charges levied by any government or an individual or an organization to collect public work providing the best facilities and the infrastructures. It is nothing but what? Tax is a compulsory payment. Okay, compulsory payment done by the individual or a group of an organizations. They have to pay it compulsory. It is a mandatory thing. Okay, so it is a fee charge or it is collected by the government. The government is going to collect some fee from the public. So they are going to utilize indirectly services which will be given indirectly. Some revenue will be given for the indirect income for the public, like building some infrastructures or some park, or by providing any kind of indirect income which will be provided for them in the way of building roads, or in the way of building some bridges, or in that sources they will be collecting from the public, and there will not be any return benefit which will not given for the common public. Then in India, the tax can be broadly classified into direct tax and the indirect tax. So in India, we have only two way of taxes. One, it is called it as direct tax. Another way, it will be presently in the way of what? Indirect taxes. Next. So two types of taxes. One, it is direct. Another one, it is indirect. Next slide. So this is called it as what? Pre-GST structures in India before implementing GST. So these are the structures which has been followed before they have been implemented in GST. So we have tax structure. One, it is direct tax. Another one, it is indirect tax. In direct tax we have what? Income tax, wealth tax, and in indirect tax we have central tax and state tax. So central it will be collected by the central government, and state it will be collected by the state government. In central, what it has been collected as what? Excise tax, service tax, and customs tax. Okay, in central, what all the tax it will be collected? It will be collected by the excise tax and service tax. Then it will be collected by the customs tax. Then state, what all the tax it will be collected? VAT, entry tax, luxury tax, lottery tax, and some kind of an entertainment tax. It will be collected in where? In the state. So it is called it as what? Pre-GST. Before implementing GST, these are the way the tax will be collected. Okay, so two types of tax is there. One, it is direct, another one is indirect. Then in direct we'll have three common way. In indirect we have two common way. Okay. Next. So what do people know about direct tax? So whether it will be collected directly or what? So directly it is going to collected from the individuals. The tax which is going to collected directly from the individual in the basis of what? In the basis of income or a wealth. Okay, the tax is going to be collected in the basis of income. Based on your income, based on your wealth, the government is going to impose different kind of taxes. Okay, so here the tax will not be shifted, the burden will not be shifted. Understand, in direct tax any kind of burden will not be shifted. The burden will be paid by the individual. They are ability to what? To pay some kind of taxes. Okay, so direct tax are the tax directly collected from the paid by the same person. So the same individual, they are going to pay any kind of taxes. The burden will not be where? Shifted to some other person. So that is called it as what? Direct taxes. Okay, here under the tax will be for under wealth. So wealth tax will be what? Equally distributed according to your own wealth, according to your own resources. The wealth will be distributed from person to person. It may be an asset, it may be any kind of a plant and machinery, it may be in any kind of a land or a building, anything. So the resources will be acquired by your individual person. According to the acquisition, the equal distribution will be done and for the wealth taxes. Okay, next the direct taxes will be controlled according to the inflationary period. Yes, it is going to be inflation. Inflation, it is nothing but rising of prices, rising of standard of living. So according to the rising, what? The tax will be rate will be collected. Next it is called it as indirect tax. So indirect tax is nothing but it is going to be collected, deposited by the suppliers, ultimate burden of tax will be transferred to the ultimate consumer. From the manufacturer till the final consumer, the tax burden will be shifted from one person to another person. But when you go for the direct tax, there is no shifting, there is no burden. But indirect tax, from the manufacturer, from the ultimate consumers, it will be shifted. Okay, so next it is called it as what? Here the tax is imposed by the central or a state or a union territory. In three ways they are going to impose your tax. Three ways they are going to implement your direct tax. One, it is way of what? Central, state or a union territory or both the government. Okay, so third thing it is called it as for what purpose they are going to collect the indirect tax? To increase your higher revenue, higher income for the government. ஓகேங்களா, ஒரு கவர்மெண்ட்க்கு கவர்மெண்ட்க்கு என்ன சோர்சஸ் கிடைக்க போகுது அப்படின்னா they are improvising the revenue for the government by collecting where? By collecting the indirect tax. So from the manufacturer it is going to collected to where? To the final consumer. Okay, next it is called it as transparent tax administrations. So it is known to everyone. Okay, it is known to everyone. In direct tax it is not transparent. According to our own income, according to our own wealth, we are going to collect the taxes. But in indirect taxes it is known to everyone. If I consume some product, I am going to pay some kind of taxes. So it is transparent for transparent to every people. So one nation, one tax. So recent days what have been, they have been implemented. Everyone is saying what? One nation, one tax is no. So that is called it as what? GST. So goods, service and tax. So it is known as what? It is an indirect tax. So it is going to replace what? It is going to replace your indirect tax. So indirect tax has been replaced into what? GST. Okay. So it has been, what are the taxes in indirect tax? It has been replaced excise duty, VAT, service tax and etc. These kind of taxes has been replaced. It is reframed into what? Into as a GST. Okay, GST, that is goods and service tax, was passed by the parliament. Parliament, it has been passed 29th March 2017 and the effect of GST has been implemented in from where? From the 1st July 2017 GST has been implemented. Okay, that is what it is called it as one nation, one tax. So the journey of GST. So journey of GST, it has been started from 2006. They have been started. So from 2006, from 2000, it has been implemented from where? 2017 only the GST it has been passed. Okay, so the journey, so the first 2006 announcement of GST by the Union Finance Minister. So the Union Finance Minister is going to announce the GST on 1st April 2010. Okay, next 2009 they are going to discuss in the amendments or through the constitution, they are going to implement or they are going to launch the GST Act. Okay, 2011 the constitution, that is 115th amendment act, which has been passed subsequently by the parliament. Okay, next from 2014 and 2016, that is first amendment act has been passed in way for introducing the GST. Next 2011 what they have did, that is amendment has been passed. 2014 the bill amendment has been passed in the Lok Sabha. Okay, 2014 what had happened, the bill has been passed. Bill has been passed where? The bill is going to be passed in where? In the Lok Sabha. Okay, 2016 101 amendment act has been implemented. The amendment act is going to be enacted. Okay, the 2016 what? It was going to be enacted by where? By the government. They are going to be introduced what? GST. Then 2016 September, in 2016 September, first meeting of GST council meeting has been introduced. Okay, in 2016 first GST council meeting has been introduced. Then 1st July what? The GST is fully launched. Okay, so the variation, how long it has been processed from 2006, from 2017, the journey has been passed to what? To implement these kind of taxes. Okay, to what? To avoid certain taxes. It is called it as what? VAT, some service taxes, some luxury taxes. These kind of taxes has been collapsed into what? Into a single tax. It is called it as what? GST. Okay. So one tax for what? Manufacturing, for trading, and different kind of services which has been provided for what? For the consumers. Okay. So this is, we saw no pre GST tax. Now it is called it as what? Proposed tax structure in India. So these are the tax structures which is currently, which has been known in where? In our Indian. Okay, so one it is what? Already we people know, it is direct tax. Another one it is the indirect tax. Indirect tax, it is nothing but what? GST, except customs tax is been, it is not covered under where? The GST. Okay, a custom tax is separately covered, but custom tax will not be coming under where? In our GST. So in indirect tax, what? Income tax and wealth tax. But in indirect tax or GST, what all the tax has been followed? Intrastate and interstate. Very you people have to note that one tax it is called it as what? Interstate. Another one it is called it as intrastate. Okay, intrastate it is called it as CGST. CGST it is nothing but Central Goods and Service Tax. SGST it is nothing but what? State Goods and Service Tax. So it will be coming under where? Intrastate. Okay, then interstate it is called it as what? IGST. It is nothing but Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Okay, so what are the tax, what are the GST which has been currently implemented in two ways? One it is intra, another one it is called as inter. In intra we have what? Central Goods and Service Tax, and in inter then it is called it as State Goods and Service Tax. Then in interstate it is called it as what? IGST. IGST it is nothing but what? Integrated Goods and Service Tax. So different characteristics. Okay, why GST has been implemented? What are the special feature or special characteristics for implementing these GST? So nothing but what? GST, which is always called it as indirect tax or a conception of tax. So indirectly they are going to collect it from the manufacturer till the final consumer. Okay, consumption it is nothing but what? The final consumer is going to intake that particular product. So for that product, the consumer is going to pay some kind of tax. So the burden is shifted from manufacturer to where? To the final consumer. Next it is called it as, it is going to imply, it is going to impose only on where? Supply of goods and services. So the GST is going to implement it where? It is going to implement it only where? In the goods and services, not on your income, not on your wealth. Whatever goods you are going to purchase, on that purchase of goods only they are going to impose where? The tax. Okay, next it is called it as, it is called it as what? Multi-stage of tax. So it is what it called it as GST. GST is going to where? Multi-stage. It is going to be paid in every stage of sale, from the manufacturer, from to the wholesaler, to the retailer, to the final consumer. In each and every stage, each and every person is going to what? They are going to pay taxes. So that is why it is called as what? Multi-stage tax. Okay, so you people understand, the multi-stage is nothing but what? It is going to pay it in different stages from the different people. They are going to pay taxes for what? For going to at the stage of sale. Next it is called it as GST. It is nothing but it is a national level tax. It is not an international level tax. In our nation, we are going to what? To reduce the burden, they have been implemented what? The GST. Next it is called it as, it is concurrently, it is going to be collected. It is going to be collected in a two-way by both central and the state. So that is why it is called it as what? Concurrently taxes. So concurrently it is going to collected from the government, both the central and the state government, they are going to collect the taxes. And also in union territories also we are going to what? We are going to collect the taxes. Okay. Hence it is a dual system. So dual system, it is nothing but two-way of collection of taxes. In two-way of collection only we are going to collect the taxes through the central or the state. Both the government is going to collect a common fixation of tax rate. Okay. Next, the tax rates, rules and regulation are governed by GST Council. So GST Council is going to fix all the fixation of prices, fixation of rates, and rules and regulation, which is always going to find it by the GST Council, which is consist of where finance minister will be the person who are going to decide throughout the central and throughout the state what are the rates and what are the rules and regulation they are going to frame it for the fixation of GST. Okay, and this is very important. It is called it as what the tax structure or which is going to be framed under GST. That is CGST. It is going to be stand for wait central GST, and SGST stands for state GST. So that is CGST is the tax which is going to collected by the central government. The central government is going to be collected, and the applicable what on the supply of within the state. Within the state we are going to supply different kind of goods and services. So within the state the central government is going to be collected. The same way it is called it as what SGST. In SGST the tax is going to collected by the state government, and the applicable things are going to be happen, the supply of goods and services which will be happen within our own state. Okay, so next slide. Next it is called it as IGST. So IGST, which is already we have been known, that is it is called it as integrated GST. So integrated GST tax is going to be collected and it is going to be shared both by the central and the state government. Previously we saw central government will be collected for CGST and state government is going to be collected for SGST. But for the integrated GST, both central and state government they are going to share their tax returns. Okay, so applicable that is it is called as what interstate. Interstate it is nothing but what for exporting and importing only we are going to utilize what integrated GST. Okay, for exporting purposes and for the importing purposes, export and import of goods only we are going to what we are going to utilize integrated GST. Then it is called it as what union territory GST. So union territory GST, it is nothing but what the tax is going to collected in union territory like what Andaman and Nicobar, Diu and Daman, then your Jammu and Kashmir, Pondicherry and Delhi, these are called it as what some kind of an union territory. In that union territory they will be fixing what some legislative rules and regulation will be fixed, sir. According to that they are going to applicable some supply of charges will be collected within that particular union territory. Then we have different classifications. So same classification. So SGST and CGST. So SGST is going to clubs up. So indirect tax, the VAT, the entertainment taxes, luxury taxes, lottery taxes, entry tax, purchase stamp duty, goods and passenger tax, tax on wheel, electricity, banking and real estate. These taxes are going to coming under where? Into the SGST. Okay, so SGST, what are the tax which they are going to collect? So SGST it is nothing but what intrastate GST. So intrastate GST means what the services which are going to be happen within the state. Within Tamil Nadu they can collect what these kind of taxes. Okay, so that it will be called it as what intra-state GST. So intra-state GST it is applicable both for SGST and it is been applicable for CGST. So the taxes will be collected within what within our own state. They are going to supply the goods and services. For that particular supply of goods and services they are going to what they are going to collect different kind of tax and services. The same way CGST, what are the things they are going to happen? Central excise. Central excise, additional duties on customs. Any additional duties which will be collected for the custom taxes, they will be collected. Then some kind of service taxes and surcharges and all cess will be collected in where? Into the central GST tax. Okay. Next. Next it is thing it is called it as what? IGST. So IGST it is nothing but interstate transaction. So interstate transaction, the services which is going to be happen between the states. Okay, intra means within the states, inter means what? The services, whatever services which you people are going to provide for the taxes which will be claimed between the states. So between the states, what are the things going to be happen? Either it is going to be happen for export or it is going to be happen for import. So that kind of taxes will be collected in where? Coming under where? Integrated GST. Okay, so in integrated GST, the center thing is going to be happen. Both center and state taxes will be happen throughout the interstate transaction. All taxable goods and services which is going to be provided for consignment or a stock transfer of goods and services. So consignment, it is nothing but from the import or for the transfer of goods and services which we are going to provide it for the export. So these kind of things which is going to be happen in where? In the interstate GST. Okay, next. So the GST is paid on the purchase of goods and services to be paid on the supply of goods and services. So purchase, it is nothing but what? The importing. The supply, that is sales, it is nothing but supply is nothing but what? The goods which we are going to be taken place where? From the home country to where? To the other countries. So that is what it is called it as supply of goods and services. So the trading activities which will be coming under in integrated GST, one it is what? Whether we are going to purchase some goods from other country or another, whether we are going to do some sales to where? To some other foreign countries. So in that particular purpose only, what will happen? We are going to pay in the integrated GST. So in integrated GST, there is no distinguish between what? Raw materials or capital goods. All will be allowed in where? In input tax credit system will be allowed for the integrated GST. Next, the tax should be extended overall goods and services up to the final consumption point. The value of addition will be started to increasing in where? In the integrated GST. Okay, next one. So this is very important thing you people have to know before that is GST has been implemented. So constitutional perspectives. So the bill which is going to be passed by the Rajya Sabha on that is 3rd August 2016, and in Lok Sabha the bill has been passed on 8th August 2016. Then it has been notified by the 101 Amendment Act in 2016 with these kind of key features. One, it is called as concurrent jurisdiction. So in concurrent jurisdiction, the levy. So levy, it is nothing but it is called as, it is going to be imposed by the government. So the government is going to impose to collect what? To collect what? GST in the way of what? Center, the state. So in that they are going to implement what? Article 246 which has been implemented. In Article 246 previously. In Article 246, what they have been implemented? Union list, state list, and concurrent list. It is not. It is. You don't get confused. Union list. It is called it as what? Central list. Okay. State list and concurrent list. It is nothing but what? Integrated GST. So both central and state. So that is the article which has been passed by Article 246 and. Article 246A is going to give the power. The power is going to give by the parliament to make where? To make the laws between inter-state supplies. So in that they are going to include all the export and the import articles. Okay. So Article 246, it is only for union list and it is only for state and it is for concurrent. Then Article 246, it is going to implemented by the parliament. The parliament have a power to make any kind of laws regarding to what? To supply the interstate supplies. Next one. Next it is called as what? Article 269A. It is Article 269A, it is going to implement about what? The distribution of revenue, that is whatever income which they have been collected through the indirect tax, that revenue is going to be distributed in the way of what? In the way of between central and state government. So import transaction will be coming under way in the Article 269A. Okay. Next Article 217A, it is a committee where they can able to what? They can able to modify or reconcile or procure what? GST in India. going to do it. They are going to what? They are going to modify, they are going to procure, or they are going to reconcile any kind of law based on the GST which is going to be implemented in our India. Okay, Article 366, it is nothing but the tax on the supply of goods and services except alcoholic, etc. These kind of articles will be coming under where in the 366 articles will be implemented. So the services refers to anything other than goods will be implemented in where in article 366. Okay. Next one. So the goods which is not going to be covered under where? The GST. So these are the goods which is not going to be covered under the GST. So the goods, it is called as what? Alcohol for the human consumption. The tax remains will be fixed within our own state. So these are the goods, the alcohol will be covered under where? The tax will be collected within where? Within our own state. But next it is called as 5 petroleum products. It is called as what? Crude oil, diesel oil, diesel, petrol, natural gases, and ATF. So what do you people know about ATF? Any idea about ATF? Any idea about ATF? So it is nothing but what? Aviation turbinal fuel. So it is a fuel which is going to be used for what? The aircraft. So it is also, the tax will not be covered for the ATV. So aviation turbinal fuel. Okay. Next, the GST Council can decide the date from where the GST going to be applicable for the tobacco. Next, entertainment tax, it will be leaved in where? The local bodies, and the power of tax will be remain in our own local bodies. So these are the things which will not be covered under the GST. Next. So benefits. So benefits, it is easy compliances. So it is nothing but what? It is easily known for the all the taxpayers, the services regarding registration, returns, payments, etc. The taxpayers can be done it through the online mode. Through the online mode, they can able to what? They can able to pay the taxes. So it is easily known to where? To the people. So it is transparent because because income tax, what they will be doing, more number of forms and more number of forms will be collected, and it will be it is very what technically it is not known by every people. So what it has been happened for GST, they have been implemented through the online mode, and it is easily known to where? To the every people. Whatever people they have been reading the application, it is easily available for all the taxpayers through the online mode. Next it is uniformity. So GST, it is nothing but what? It is a uniformity of tax which is going to be collected, and the structures will be framed for the across the country. Across our own country, the same structure, same things will be followed in the GST. Next, GST in business, it will be taxes will be neutral for any places, any business, whatever things which you are been doing, it will be in a uniform structure throughout our own country. Next one. So improved for competitiveness. So improved for competitiveness, it is nothing but reduction in transaction cost. So the transaction cost will be reduced if we implemented these kind of GST. Because why? We will be improving more number of trading and industries activities are nowadays being implemented. So more number of competitors. So the prices for the goods will be automatically reduces from doing the business. So automatically the prices will be reduced. The GST will be implemented for these kind of taxes. Next, simple and easy to administrate. So multiple indirect taxes are being implemented both in central and state, which will be replaced by what? Which is going to replace our GST. So more number of taxes, more number of taxes system has been followed both central and state. It will be got it confused by more number of people. For that only what will happen? It has been implemented by the GST. Next. In GST, what it happens? It is simpler and it is easily understandable by all level of people, and especially it is for what? Final consumer also. From the manufacturer to the final consumer, everyone can be understand what are the taxes, for what purpose we are going to pay taxes, and how much we are going to pay taxes. It is easily known by all the people. Next, it is called it as single, and it is going to be transferred. So single, it is nothing but what? one nation, we are going to pay what? One tax. So single tax we are going to pay, and it is transparent to everyone what are the taxes we are going to pay to the government. So GST, which is it is for the manufacturer to the consumer. So it is transparent for the taxes. Whatever taxes we are paid, it is transparent. It is known to everyone. Next one. So these are the GST rates which has been implemented. So we have different rates. One it is 5%, another one it is 12. Second it is 18%, third 18%, third 28%. So these are the slab rate which will be implemented for the GST for the 5% on the items of mass consumption. So lump sum of consumption, large consumption of goods. So it is called it as what? Example.